Bung Saray and seafood are, of course, synonymous terms in this area. So close to Pattaya, a great destination, a nice drive, and terrific seafood when you get here. And you can see why it's so good. All of these fishing boats, they go out every day, every night especially, and bring back the catch the next day. And they all feature those very large electric lights because they're turned on at night and they're used to attract squid, we would say. Planuk is the name for that particular type of seafood here, and Thai people love it. The boats themselves, well, they're in that distinctive shape, quite an arc from the bow to the stern, the kind of boat that I think Popeye himself would have been proud to be in. The fishing business has long sustained Bung Saray. Big contracts aside, small sales are made throughout the day, but it's very likely that the main catch is being served in part to hungry diners at the beachside restaurants. Or maybe in the thriving Bung Saray evening market. As much as the eastern seaboard of Thailand has embraced change that's been industrial and residential, it's great to go somewhere that has barely changed in decades. The Bung Saray Club is nicely housed right on the water and is a restaurant, but with a club ambience and a resident director. While Pattaya's very well-known neighbour Bung Saray is popular amongst a good many people, it seems to be moving fairly slowly compared to the development we've seen in Pattaya, for example. There are still very nice old parts of Bung Saray that seem unchanged, and one man responsible for looking after such a place is David, my guest today, probably somewhat unchanged himself, but the place certainly seems to have that feeling.
Here we are really at the tail end of Bung Saray, where I'm looking out now here into the bay overlooking Jom Tien, as it sweeps round down Sukhumvit towards Sattahip. You have the main part of the village to our right here, and on to the left here we have the beginning of the Navy estates.
You've kept this very old part of early Bung Saray going so very nicely. What was this building, this business, before it became the restaurant that you now have here?
This property here was developed, in fact most of the village of Bung Saray was developed only probably about 65 years ago. When I took it over, I was not into fishing anymore, but I was very, very lazy. I did not know what to call it, so I just dropped the fishing bit out of the name. So it's now just affectionately known as the Bung Saray Club.
Over the years you've managed to keep it all up, keep the grass green, and I see the pool water is blue and all the requirements are here.
And occasionally it's not. It's, at the moment, yes, we're on a sunny day.
David, what does this signify?
Well, I like to tell everybody it's the road and the miles to Dundee. But in actual fact, it's the high water marker. Now, obviously, these buildings were built before modern regulations came in. So, but people are quite amused about having a high water mark because here is so shallow.
Well, it's a very nice little piece of beach decoration.
Yes,
and
yes.
It seems to me to indicate that you're living and working as close to the beach and the water, albeit shallow,
right,
as possible.
Yes, but I can't really get much closer.
No.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Yes.